This is Jets at Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Jets at Noon brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line. Win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jim Toth, how you doing this very, very chilly Wednesday afternoon? It's like December rolled around and all of a sudden, all right, guys, here comes the winter. But actually, I don't mind it. I don't mind this, at least for right now. I mean, in February, ask me how I feel about it, and it gets tiresome. But right now, it's new, it's novel. I don't mind it too much.
It's almost like we forgot we live in Manitoba.
We had such a no.
Because November was...
We have no right to complain. The November was absolutely gorgeous.
Just beautiful.
But all you cold weather...
but those tan lines of yours are going to go away real quick in December. But it's cold. It's hockey season. It's interesting.
We just got some big news.
Oh, big breaking news?
Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Dun, dun, dun.
This is from Mike McIntyre in Montreal from head coach Scott O'Neill. Just put this out on X with the Free Press. You can follow him. Mike McIntyre, WPG. Jets updates. Hayden Fleury, concussion, skated in Winnipeg earlier this week, has doc follow-up Friday. So, but the bigger piece of information, Connor Hellebuyck close to getting back on the ice. Timeline hasn't changed. Arneal, I'm going to make sure he has 4 yellow jerseys on.
For
Hellebuyck. He's going to have 4 yellow jerseys on because it's like...
So he's getting back on the ice.
You don't even breathe out him.
Well, we knew it was very minor surgery, but surgery the same. And then it would only be a couple of weeks. And a couple of weeks included him getting back on the ice a couple of weeks prior.
What's that Will Ferrell bit? Is that with John C. Reilly and Step Brothers when he's like, no, don't even look at him. He's not, don't even talk to him. Is that from that? Is that correct?
I just like when you and I go to functions and people's like, "Oh, Cam," and I'm like, "No, you don't look at him. You talk to me, and I will ask Cam what you need.
You don't look at him. You look at me when I'm. You don't speak to him.
That poor lady who came over and said, "I'm so glad you guys could come," and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa," and she's like, "Can I?" And you're like, "Jim." And I'm like, you do not look at Cam.
Do not look at him.
You look at me and you ask me, and I will relay it to Cam.
We're going to get to your text.
Cam Poitras.
We're going to get to your text messages that we weren't able to get to. Very happy to have Craig Button on the show. He's going to be joining us after 12:30 to talk. Because yesterday was about what's wrong. Today is about how does it get fixed.
I also lost 3 pounds because I finally shaved my mustache.
You did. And I saw you today. I was like, something different about Jim. I just can't put my finger on it. Oh, yeah, he shaved that glorious... lip caterpillar.
Looks like he lost weight. 3.5 pounds.
Wow.
I weighed Stan the Stash once I let him go, and it was 3.5 pounds.
I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah, you got to name it.
Is that named after Logan Stanley?
I Stan the Stash. It just made me feel big
there's some major lineup changes.
Yes, major. Let's get to that.
Connor Scheifele, Velarde, Nemestikov, Taves, Perfetti. Niederreiter, Lowry, Iafallo, and there's going to be a lot of fans that are happy about this, including myself. I think this is the right move. Koepke, Barron, and Pearson Nyquist is the healthy scratch, it looks like, for today's game. Before we get to the changes on the blue line, Jim, what do you think about Nyquist in the press box?
I don't mind it. Like, it's a healthy... Look, we always fall back on history, and the history have always been that this stuff wouldn't happen, but we fail to, I find in Jets land quite often, understand that it might be slow, but there's evolving here. And this is a team that cannot miss the playoffs this year. This is a team that the focus after, last year winning the President's Trophy and going to the second round, the focus is the Stanley Cup. They made that clear. Now they've dug themselves a hole that I think on a game-to-game basis, it's how you play. He has not done very much. And I like him, as a player. He's had some opportunities, but he's got to contribute. And they can't score. And he was brought in to score. Not, 78 points and 40 goals, I don't think. But he was supposed to have 50 to 60 points. Best case scenario.
The expectation was he was going to come in and score 20. I mean, I'm sorry,
I think the expectation was he'd come in and score 40 points.
Okay, yeah. 20
He's
goals.
Got 6.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it is what it is.
But they need to score, so I don't mind this. The other thing I like about this lineup, sorry, Cam, real quick, is the bottom line. When the year started and Nyquist was on the second line, that line worked good. Mm-hmm. The Barron, Koepke, and Tanner Pearson worked well. The Lowry Niederreiter foul line I like, even when they're not putting up points. I think Niederreiter needs to score more points. So does Adam Lowry IFL. That line needs to, like every other line other than the top one, has to produce more points.
Yes.
But I like the way they play. The juggernaut problem here has been the second line. So the bottom six I like today. I don't mind getting Nyquist out of there. Nemestikov has fallen off since the start of the season. Taves is I think he's been the victim of some of his line mates, but also he can be better from the start of the year, from what I saw at the start of the year. And then Perfetti, right? Perfetti's got to get going.
Well, what's happening here, and what I think Scott O'Neill is thinking is he's got to have some sort of level of consistency. Like these guys have to keep playing together. If that line is going to get going, they have to play together. They have to get some rhythm going, and that's why I think that is sticking
some consistency,
around.
Much like the team itself in their game. They got to get some consistency.
Correct.
And then the other reason I love this lineup is because the fourth line defended well, and this team has to. This is a speed team in Montreal. They've got a lot of quickness. You've got to put a lineup out there and this lineup at the start of the year, minus Nyquist, that's the one that wasn't there at the start of the year, defended well out of the gate.
And you're talking about this search for consistency. That's why the top line hasn't moved yet. So anybody who's saying that they should need to be split up, the only reason why it hasn't moved is because the only one that's had any consistency. And so you're going to take your only consistent line and break it up and put it on other lines. Well, I mean, what if it doesn't work out?
This cry to break up this line, and I get it. Like, it's not unheard of. If they do it, I'm not surprised because it's a little bit of desperate times.
Yeah.
It's not because the line's working so well. It's because if you had one or two lines that weren't contributing and you have one that's exceptional and you want to help out the other two lines, you do it.
Yeah.
If you have no other lines helping, you need goals. And this idea that Kyle Connor's going to go down to the second line and somebody's going to go up top and all of a sudden three lines are going to start producing, it reminds me of the Paul Maurice days. Why won't you break up that line? Why won't you break up that line? Because more often than not in the third period, I need a goal. That's why they're not broken up, and that's why I'm double shifting them.
Let's move to the blue line here. Morrissey, DeMello, Sandberg, and Pionk. Pionk is going to be slotting back in. And then Stanley, Solomonson, Shen, and Miller are the extra defenseman right now. Solomonson finding his way back in. I think that this is solely based on the fact is that Shen was just not quick enough in Buffalo. I understand he had 2 points against Nashville. I understand sticking him in the lineup. In hindsight, which is always 2020, it was a mistake. And I think they're bringing in some guy with at least a little bit of wheels here. And Solomonson's a great skater, so I think that's why he's finding his way.
Well, this is a speed team again, right?
Yeah, they're not going to get caught in the same situation. So, like Arniel is doing stuff here. He's trying to figure things out here. So I think these are all the right moves. Honestly,
I don't want to shock anybody.
I would have had Nyquist in the press box a few games ago, but hey, listen, that's coming from this clown talking into a mic right now, not the head coach of the Jets.
Well, and I always say this. Coaches have way more patience than fans.
Yeah.
Media, I think, has a little bit more patience than fans, but not as much as coaches, and then coaches know what they're doing. I don't want to break any news here, but Scott Arniel knows what he's doing. He's extremely frustrated, don't get me wrong. But it's not. I don't believe this is anything he hasn't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in his years of coaching, and especially with the Rangers and the Capitals over the years, people forget long before he was the head coach of the Moose, he was a longtime assistant in Buffalo. This isn't something he hasn't seen before. But the comment again, Cam, about the stubbornness and the coaching of what, the Sabres do well and us not, doing it out of the gate. Mm-hmm. I think that's why you have a players only meeting too, right? Like a lot of the players only meeting, I think, is, and I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
There's many ways it can go. I don't think it's finger pointing at this point. I think it's not showing up when the puck drops is over. Not defending your position and not doing your job is over. Guessing or going, oh man, I should have been there is over. This is what we do. This is who we are. Forget scoring, forget everything else. We're going to play this system to a T. And if you don't, you're probably not going to be in the lineup anymore. Now, we can do this, as I'm assuming, because I don't think it's the time to go in, you need to be better, you need to be better, they all need to be better. This wasn't, I think, a calling out of it. I think it's a reckoning of whatever's been going on is over. And it's time to be who we are and what we can do well. And if a team comes out tonight and blows their doors off again with speed, then I think fans, I know you've been screaming at me for 2 weeks, they're too old, they're too slow. If this Montreal team comes out tonight, and I already know by saying this, if it's 3-0 at the end of the first period again, I'm going to hear it on social media, and that's fine. If a team in Montreal Canadiens come out and blow the doors off this team tonight, the way Buffalo did, the way Carolina did in the third period, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
But I don't think Adam Lowry doesn't go into that room. And this is what somebody else said to me about a week ago, or maybe it was my guest yesterday on Getting Your Mojo Back. Yeah, it was my guest yesterday, a sports psychologist here in town. How much did they miss him not being in that room at the start of the year, setting the tone? Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, and for everybody who goes, oh, the C this, or the A that, or the captain this, or because he's a good guy in the room, or whatever, for those of you who don't believe in it, tonight you're going to find out whether you should start believing in it. Because I think when Adam Lowry speaks, this team listens. I think when Adam Lowry sets a tone of going, this is what we do tonight, and I better see it from the puck drop to the final whistle, I believe that you're going to see that. Because I believe he holds that much cachet in the room. If he doesn't, then they have a problem of too old and too slow. But this lineup tonight, and Adam Lowry speaking, and the fact that they just haven't played well, I'm fascinated by tonight's game.
204-780-6868. Shoot us over a text. You can also call the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. The number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza on Friday. Let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side. I promised I would go over your text messages from yesterday. Here are the topics, Jim, and we'll go through them real quick. We'll try and squeeze on as many as we can. It's over. These are the categories of text messages we received. I put it into 5 categories. One titled, It's Over. Like the season's over. Number 1 is roster changes. Other one is Arneal. Then I have speed. And then I have goaltending. I'll give you a taste of each of those categories when we come back. Craig Button with us after 12:30. We'll ask him what's wrong with the Jets and then how to fix it. Don't go anywhere.
And Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Don't go anywhere. Craig Button's going to be on the show after 12:30. What's wrong with the Jets? How do we fix it? Interested to hear his take and then expand on some of the things that you may have heard him say so far. But here are those text messages, Jim, that we received yesterday that I wanted to try and squeeze into the room. It's over. Okay, under the category of it's over. It's time for you two to push the panic button. So, Jim, you got to push the panic button.
I'm not pushing it. I said I will. If they get their doors, like they could lose tonight 4-2 with an over or with a empty netter, and I'm not. But if they get their doors blown off like they did against Buffalo again tonight, I will then push the panic.
At what point do we, this other texter says, at what point do we start to panic? We're going to lose with these old players, send them down, bring up the young guys. I didn't make this point yesterday, but I had made it earlier on in the year, if you had not heard. The oldest teams in the league are the teams that
win Stanley
Cups. The ones that have gone the furthest and have done the best over the last number of years are the older teams in the league. I'm just reminding the oldest, people. Yeah,
but they're within the top 6 of the oldest teams.
Yeah, Vegas,
win Stanley
Panthers,
Cups.
Oilers, and that sort of thing. So, roster. So Brian,
and can I just add to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your oldest players, everybody looks at Shen or Taves. Your oldest players that make you overall the oldest teams are your Mark Scheifele's, your Kyle Connors, your Josh Morrissey's. Connor Hellebuck's in his early 30s. That's what brings the average up because the average age is like 26, 27.
Yeah, guys in their prime.
So the guys that make this the oldest roster aren't like 2 players that are in their late 30s. It's the core that's in their late 20s, early 30s. And you're not getting rid of those players to become younger.
Players in their prime right now. See, people used to think, the prime is 28 to 32. With where health is and nutrition and working out and all that sort of stuff. I mean, there's a difference between being 35 and 28.
Josh Morrissey's playing better than he did last year.
But I'm saying that window of somebody being at their best in their prime has extended. It's further than it ever has been before. We got to let's squeeze some more of these in here. We got to go pretty quick. Okay. Brian says back in the day, Buff told the coach to give him Morrissey. Wheeler wanted Connor. Where's that leadership? Morrissey should be screaming for Solomonson. This texter says, "Hi, my name is Mark. Season ticket holder since the beginning and always will be, but it's time to see the coach try something nuclear, break up the top line." These ones are on our Neil. This one, hot take, not Scotty's fault, but if the Jets front office wants to win now, bring in Pete DeBoer. And if they choose to stay with Arnie, play it out and hopefully get Gavin McKenna. Oh, my God.
You're not firing Scott Arniel 25 games into a season where he just won the President's Trophy and went to the second round of the playoffs.
I know.
There's a lot of runway here for a coach to turn this around.
I think let's move to speed before we get to goaltending. I think other teams are exploiting the fact that the Jets are not playing as a fast team. In recent games, other teams seem to be really pouring on the speed. Absolutely. You're totally right. They're taking advantage of the fact that the Jets are not a slow team, but they're playing like a slow team.
I like that caller or text we had yesterday that said the reason they look slow is because they are a forechecking team with this system.
He's totally right.
That thrives off turnovers and getting the puck back through the neutral zone. And when you don't get that forecheck in deep, you are on your heels. And that was a great
one
point.
More here. Gary, when your goalie is a Hart Trophy winner and when they win the President's Trophy, one would have to assume that you'd be in trouble if you lose him. You can disguise the loss of a forward or a but it's much harder from a goaltender. Let's take this final break. We'll have the 12:30 news, and after that, Craig Button will be on the show. What's wrong with the Jets, and how can it be fixed? We discuss that with him when we come back. Jets at Noon, brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line and win a VIP car wash from my good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. I'll announce the winner later in the program. Coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza.
BP, great place to watch the Olympics if they get the ice ready.
Yeah, jeez Louise. Hey, you'll hear more of that on the podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you download, or even on YouTube.
My buddy in Charleswood just finished his backyard rink. Maybe he could go to Italy and get her going.
Oh, it sounds like they need some help. Craig Button, TSN analyst on the program. Hey, Craig, how are you?
I'm good. Let me talk about the ice system and everything, right?
Oh.
The NHL shuts down their season, sends over their best players, and this is how they get treated by the IOC. If I was the NHL, I'd said, I'm out of there. We're going to play somewhere else. Take your Olympic venue and shove it up your nowhere. I think it's brutal, and I think that I think it's time for the NHL and the NHLPA to stand up and put their feet to the fire. Not that you're not going to the Olympics. We're not playing in that venue. We're playing. We'll create an alternate venue for us to go play on, but we're not going to something that's been done so poorly.
Well, Craig, I could not agree with you any more. It is ridiculous what's going on over there. They've had almost 7 years by the time that they had it named in Milan. This is an absolute disgrace. The ice surface, you think it's going to be any good? It's going to be absolutely atrocious. You're going to put the best players in the entire world on that in this dump of a facility that's not even ready for anything yet. Not even get me started on it. It's incompetence galore, just like sheer incompetence compounded on sheer incompetence. But I don't have a strong opinion on it.
And the NHL and the NHLPA should not be tolerant of it.
I'm with you.
Shut down their league, send over your best players, put them at risk, and this is what you're going to get. Hey, Torino was a disaster on the ice surface at the convention center. They didn't even have the freezing all the way to the boards. And now so that was 2006. And now we're here in 2026 and we got the same issue. Sorry. I'd just be telling them we're suing you too.
It's 2 feet shorter. Too. It's 2 feet shorter on the other side too, Craig. It's even smaller.
On a lighter note,
did they not have a tape measure?
Make them put it in the Coliseum. That thing's not being used.
Yeah. You know what? The Coliseum might be a better structure than the one they're going to put in Milan.
Craig, what's
Great
wrong?
Having you, Craig.
What's wrong with the Jets?
I'll start right here. The defensive play. I'm just going to read you a couple of things.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Sport Logic data. So I'm going to read you last year to this year. This is defensively. So this is what they give up. Slot shots, second in the league, 26 this year. Inner slot shots, second in the league, 25th this year. Slot passes, 11th in the league last year, 28th this year. Cycle chances, 13th last year, 28th. Forecheck chances, 4th, 24th this year. High danger chances, 7th, 21 this year. Okay, so you tell me what the problem is.
So why is that, Craig, from a team that last year won the Jennings Trophy? Like, I understand changes. There's been 5 new faces, but the whole execution of the system wouldn't be this bad. What's going on with them?
I think you nailed it, Jim. It's execution.
Execution.
Right? These are not players. Like you can add Jonathan Tage, and you can add Gus Nyquist, you can add Tanner Pearson, right? Like the bottom line is the foundation of this team knows how to play excellent defense. It's not accidental what they've done the last 2 seasons. Not accidental. And that is execution, that's commitment, that's discipline. Well, guess what? It's gone out the window. So to me, when I watch, and I mean the game the other night, I mean I'm watching it. Dylan DeMello right off the bat. Oh, I'm going to take a chance, get myself a bad penalty. Boom, 1-0. Stanley, I'm going to get caught up at the offensive blue line, outside the dots. Boom, 2-0. Okay, that's the way you want to play. Guess what? You're going to pay a price, and until that improves, the Winnipeg Jets record will not improve. And I don't care who's in the net.
Yeah, the idea is like the thing that we keep hearing, and it's constant. The Jets, the problem is that they're too old and they're too slow. Do you think that that's an issue right now?
Well, here's what I would say. I don't think they're too old, and I don't think they're too slow. I mean, are the Tampa Bay Lightning too old? I mean, look at the age of the roster. I mean, I think it's too narrow of a definition to say they're too old or too slow. You know, when you play a game and you understand what you're trying to execute, what your disciplines are, we hear the word structure all the time. Those are the things you got to be committed to. It's hard to be good defensively. It's hard to commit. It's hard to be disciplined. They haven't been. So, okay, so you're young and you're not disciplined. You're old and you're not disciplined. You're going to get the same results. And the team isn't too slow. What the team is undisciplined. So when you're always chasing back, and in this league, I'm going to give you a quote that Dale Sutter told me a couple of years ago. And he was talking about a defenseman they had. And he said, in this league, if you take one step in the wrong direction, that means you got to take 2 to make up for it. And he goes, 2 is too much with the way the league is played at the speed. So in my view, the Winnipeg Jets, Dylan DeMello, why does he take a penalty? Because he's behind the play. Why does Stanley get caught? He's behind the play. You're telling me Dylan DeMello can't skate and Logan Stanley can't skate? No, it's because they're making bad decisions and they're not disciplined. Understand what Darryl said. A step in the wrong direction means you got to take 2 to get the right, and 2 is too many, and that's the biggest problem plaguing the Winnipeg Jets, in my view, at this point in time. So the biggest problem, and the number one thing they better address, because if it doesn't get addressed, not going to improve.
So, Craig, along those lines, like we have no clue what Adam Lowry would have said during that closed-door meeting after the Buffalo game, but I would assume it's not about the losses. It's not about it's about that. It's about it's self-inflicted, right? And then you come out with a game like that, and the comment that stood out to me in the postgame here on 680 CJOB was when Scott Arniel said, we looked at Buffalo's previous 3 games and went over how they play off the rush and how we need to defend it. We gave up 9 rush chances and 4 goals off the rush. To me, that's the disconnect to where Adam Lowry would shut that door and go, like, there's things that are out of our control, and then there's what's going on with us that's totally in our control. Is that how you see this right now as they go into Montreal tonight?
100%, Jim. And I think, the coaches prepare the players. And again, you're not, and I want to differentiate, the difference between trying to instill a discipline and instill a mindset. Now, when you're younger and your team is forming your structure with coaching and everything that goes with it, okay, so there's going to be growing pains. You see that with some of the younger teams. You see that when new coaches take over. It's not the case here. This is a case where the system of really strong, disciplined defensive play has been in order, and not executing, not doing the things that you need to do. Your term, self-inflicted. So the coaches are totally prepared. They're not coming in there and going, geez, we're going to change everything. You're going to change something that's been a top defensive group in the league for 2 consecutive seasons. No, you're not. So it is on the players, and it is on the players to understand we can't make these types of plays. We can't make these types of decisions. So without knowing what Adam Lowry said you know what Adam Lowry is about. And you know that Adam Lowry will have backup in that room from other really good leaders to say, it's on us. We better smarten up here. Because what Scott Arniel says is, here's what you got to be aware of. Like I said, right from the outset of the game, Dylan DeMello makes just an unbelievable, terrible play. Rush chance, penalty, goal on the power play. So, right now, it's about on the players to say, we got to be a lot better. And when good leadership takes control of that room, like Adam Lowry did, now it's incumbent upon the players to deliver and to get back to those hard disciplines. If winning was easy in this league, everybody would do it.
To fix the second line, which has just been a big problem with this team, just not being able to get a timely goal, figure things out, get ahead. It's all been on Velarde, Scheifele, Kyle Connor for this huge. While the Jets have gone through this real difficult stretch, how do you fix the second line? Do you have to bring somebody up? Is there somebody you need to call up? Like Taves, Nemestikov, Perfetti. Is there a fix there that you see?
Well, they're light. They're a light line. They're not heavy. They're not hard. They're not fast. Okay, and they're not highly gifted offensively. When I say highly gifted, okay. So what are you going to hang your hat on if you're the second line? You can't be disruptive because you don't have the speed. You can't be hard to play against because you don't have the weight, and then you don't have enough offense to be able to threaten in that regard. Bottom line is, it's not good enough. It's simply not good enough, and it's not going to improve just because guys. I don't have a question. They're trying. They're working hard. But when you have a top line now that everybody can zero in on, the Adam Lowry line is going to do what they do well. But that second line, like right now, what I see, it sucks life out of your team. You build up, and you get some, and then the second line comes out there and you lose it. So now you got to kind of come back again and try to build up with your other lines. And then the second line comes up and loses it. Like you got to keep going. You got to have a system of continuity with respect to how you're pushing and how you're making an opponent uncomfortable with whatever your skill set is. You guys tell me, how is that second line going to make any opponent uncomfortable? In fact, opponents are sitting there going, boy, wait till we get on against the second line.
It makes the Jets so much easier to defend.
Oh, well, again, you load up on the top line. And again, like Adam Lowry's line is going to do what they do, and they do it exceptionally well. It's the second line. And again, you want momentum. We use words like momentum, continuity, all those things that we're going to wear a team down, and everybody's going to bring something different. I asked the question, what does the second line have that's going to put a team, an opponent on its heels, make them uncomfortable? I don't see anything, and it's not going to change.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. You need different personnel in there. Whether that comes up from the minors, whether you got to look outside, that's the bottom line. Nikolai Ehlers was on that line. That's a dynamic player that you have to be aware of. There's no dynamic player on that line.
Yeah. Last one for you, Craig. Does Mark Scheifele make the Olympic team in your mind?
I don't see why he wouldn't. How can anybody make a case against Mark Scheifele? Now, Mike Johnson and I next week, we're going to do an updated World Olympic roster. Scheifele's on the team, and he and I both are of the same mindset, and I think that Mark adds a lot of different elements, and I think his play has been outstanding. So, to me, I think I don't want to use the word automatic, but if I was choosing the team, he'd be an automatic for me.
Craig Button, TSN analyst. Craig, thanks so much for your insight. Appreciate you always coming on the show, and take care, okay? Yeah, thanks, Jim. Thanks, Cam.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, always a pleasure having you on. I love the rant about the arena in Italy.
Oh, he's totally right. He's 100% right. He's indefensibly correct.
Yeah. And you made the point on the podcast, which we encourage everyone to listen to. Yeah. They've had 6 years to build this thing.
Yeah, it's not like it just happened overnight. We got to put this thing together, and it's an absolute atrocious mess.
So let us know what you think of Craig's comments on the Jets at 780-6868.
204-780-6868 as well. Miss your chance. Get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7. 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza. Come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. The world where the second line, it just cannot be fixed. It's just not going to fix itself. So how do the Jets overcome this?
Well, this is the thing too,
okay,
Cam.
Brad Lambert comes in. That's not necessarily a fix, okay? Is there a trade to be made where you're not giving up way too much? Not so sure. Darren Dreger's told us that there isn't. David Pagnotta has told us that there isn't right now. It's just too high a prices.
Even if you pulled off a trade, like, I don't know, like say, Brock Besser, does that make it like he's a dynamic top 6 player, can score goals? Like, I mean, I was okay with the Ehlers thing. Like, Ehlers wanted to change the scenery. The Jets, offered him $8 million, but he took $8 million, and it was kind of like, and I do believe that it was there to be had if they both wanted it, but they were both okay if it didn't work out. I don't know, like, and I don't know if Ehlers would the Taves Perfetti thing, but I think if you can get Perfetti going, you have something if you can get another dynamic winger there. I think you can get something going with Taves' hockey IQ and everything else. But right now, until Perfetti starts rolling, like and putting up some consistent points, you're looking for 3 players.
I just think things are so tight in the standings right now. The Jets are just going to have to battle through this. If it doesn't fix itself,
you have to battle through
because a trade will present itself in January.
Yes,
I mean, like
there's
in mid-January,
too many teams in it right now.
Absolutely, and then mid-January trade is going to present, and then you got to go for something. You have to fix this problem. Let's take a break. Let's come back after this. Hey, want to hear your thoughts? Going to give away that VIP text to our VIP winner or VIP car wash winner from Wash Method Car Wash at Kennedy St. Anne's Road. We'll be right back. Just a couple of comments here about our conversation with TSN analyst Craig Button. John says Craig was absolutely right. Bang on, especially what's going on with our second line. And Nyquist is a total bust, and nobody in the minor leagues is able to fill in to make that line dangerous. And Linda says, wow, Craig, harsh but true. Come on, shoot the puck. Where's the hesitation? So thanks for those text messages. Yeah, Craig was fantastic, as he always is. Yeah. Harry is our VIP texter with winning the VIP car wash from my good friends at Wash Method. Harry says, I wish Cam and Jim that you guys would take off the rose-colored glasses. Arneal is doing the best he can with what Chevy dealt him in the offseason. They let Ehlers go and got nothing in return. Like, did we go out and get anybody that could score 25 to 30 goals? No. Now they're expected to be the same team missing players like that. Give me a break. If you're not producing, why not make changes? You got 2 kids, Lambert and Cheberkoff, down on the farm team. Get them up here. Give them the ice time and the experience.
Why really give him the ice time and the experience when you're trying to make the playoffs?
Here's the thing, and then Harry ended his conversation, his text, and said, "Would it really hurt?" And I will remind everybody of this, because there's many people right now. It's like we're getting text messages like you guys need to start panicking, like getting text messages like that. There's people under the assumption that things can't get worse, and I promise you right now, things can get worse for the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, you could bring up 3 Moose players. They could get absolutely dominated. I mean, here's a Moose player, Thomas Milic. How's his start going?
Pretty good. He hasn't won, but
he's come in relief and got pumped and gave up a horrible goal to Alex Tuck. And then he went into Carolina and played well for 2 periods and then got absolutely pumped.
Well, that was a lot to do with the
That's
guys in
how
front
it's
of him.
going. Now, is it derailing him? No.
Yeah.
Is it like, did it destroy his confidence? I don't know. I don't think so. It did. But Brad Lambert has 3 points in 8 games. Kobe Barlow has 5 in 21.
Mm-hmm.
I can look up Cheberkoff. These aren't a lot of points in the American hockey league.
I think he's got a goal and an assist.
And you think he's going to come in with somebody's going to come in with Taves and Perfetti and all of a sudden be a point a game player? Because that's what they need. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't see that. It's exactly what Craig Button said, exactly what you and I have been saying for 2 days. There's a core group of players here who are playing horrible defensively. Fix it. Nobody's going to fix it for you.
Jim told to take you all the way until 2 o'clock. Pre-game at 4. Puck drop 6:30.
Looking forward to this
Jets, Habs. Oh, yeah, this is a big one.
If they get pumped 7-1, I will panic for you.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey Fortier, for producing the show.
Happened.
Hey, listen, if they get pumped, we're opening the phone lines again, Jim, because we're going to go right back to it. We'll do 2 days of phones.
I don't think they'll
Friday
get pumped.
too.
And nothing's over. Nothing's over. The Notebook, great movie. Cam cried.
Tears of joy.